Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. And it's another beautiful day for the Pirate Broadcast, and we're here interviewing interesting people doing interesting things. And we're going to be talking about impact over attention with Jake today. And I just want to welcome you. Thank you so much for being here. All the gratitude in the world. And if you're not joining us on LinkedIn, you can join us on Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and also russjohns.com after the show on the podcast. So follow, like, and share, and all those social things that we do to make an impact today. So Jake, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Buenos dias. I'm well. How are you?
Oh, very well, very well. I was interested in connecting with you because we had actually done the 10 Tips, 10 Days challenge a couple of times. And I wanted to talk about that and making an impact and building communities and some of the things that you've been involved in, and just catch up and actually have a conversation. You know, you bounce around on social media so much and you don't always get the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation. So I thought, well, we can have a conversation and invite a few friends. So
that's right. That's true. It's funny how many people that you cross paths with over and over that you never really sit down with. So I'm glad to be here chatting with you.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So what are you up to? What keeps you motivated? What keeps you excited today?
Yeah. So I actually have a daily podcast where a buddy and I just get together and talk about our goals for the day and make bets and then, do some things where we're just challenging each other. And so that's a fun thing that we do. And we're not trying to do anything with it other than just challenge each other and have a good time. So I came straight from that at 7:45 over here, rushed over. So that's it. But I spend my time largely helping people, my family, my friends, my clients, everybody figure out how discipline and accountability and frameworks can really improve their life. Because I believe that everyone really has a thing that they were meant to do while they were here, and I like helping them figure that out and do that better. So that's my passion.
I love that, and thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people struggle with that goal. They struggle with the idea of, how do I find my gift? And even, do I have a gift? And I believe everyone has a gift. Everybody has a message, and they just have to figure out how to share it with the world. Not everything is the same, and we all fit in this ecosystem together. We're all connected in some way, shape, or form, and there's always a thread that connects us. And so I often wonder, how does one go about discovering that gift? And what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I think we make it too complicated. It's kind of one of those things where you live in a glass jar, and so sometimes you can't see the label on the outside and everyone else can, and so I feel like it's like that for a lot of people. I feel like the things that you are so naturally good and gifted at, that you don't even consider them gifts. You're just like, oh, that's just what I do. Yeah. Like me with planning and accountability. I never really pinned that down for myself until my 30s. And I was like, I'm actually really good at this. How about that? And so I think there's a lot of people out there that have put together programs and things like that. I use several myself with friends, and then I use another format for my clients. But, Simon Sinek is the one recently who kind of brought that back to light. And he's got a good book called Find Your Why after Start
Your Why. Yeah.
And it's actually a group of stuff. It's a Start with Why. It's like a follow-up, but it actually tells you how to go through some exercises that basically just tell you, hey, recall some of the best times in your life and what you were doing and what made them so fun, and what activities were you performing, some things like that where when you put them all together and you overlap them, all of a sudden you start seeing some patterns and some values, and you can really start to pinpoint this is what I'm about. So I just didn't really think of it in this way before.
It's almost like you need another perspective to help you see around the corner or see outside the jar. The pickle inside the jar can't read the label, so you have to have some help. And the best coaches have coaches. So if you're willing and able and interested in expanding on yourself and your skills and your understanding of who you are and what you're doing in this big world, it's nice to be able to connect with someone like Jake and get that out there.
Yeah.
So what are some of the projects that you're working on that helps people? I mean, you have tell us more about that, because a lot of people, the whole point of the pirate broadcast is, now that you're a pirate, you're in the pirate community, you got some other people that might be able to connect with you and see you and figure out, hey, what's Jake doing? What I want to learn more about Jake. So take us down that path, Jake.
Yeah. So my vocational way of doing that, because I have a personal statement that says I equip and embolden the cause-driven so that they can make the changes happen that they want to see happen. And the way I translate that into business is I work with a company called Court Growth, and we specifically work with like for-profit companies and help them connect that purpose and that passion to their marketing and communication so that they can grow. We're particularly we love going kind of that route with companies that are past the startup stage, but kind of more the 1 to 10 million. So we spend time, doing some of those type of activities to refocus organizations to start. And sometimes we talk about better market positions, and sometimes we talk about their marketing. But at the end of the day, we're really business coaches for cause-driven organizations.
I love the fact that you add on cause-driven organizations. It's like, and it's not necessarily a nonprofit either. It's for profit. I mean, and everybody needs to realize and understand that, hey, you can make an income and do good. It's not, two separate things. You can actually, and the more you make, the more you can help, in a lot of respects. So hats off to you for that. I really want to dig down a little bit deeper and kind of find out, what was your path to doing what you're doing now? I mean, was it woke up one day and just jumped out of bed and said, hey, this is what I want to do? Or was it a kind of a bounce off the walls kind of thing and down a couple of different paths?
So. Yeah, I think most good things happen that way. Right? That overnight success story that took 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. What's your 15-year overnight success story?
Yeah. That's the common one. So actually, I had the thing that's very typical, right? When I turned 40, I went, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing with my life? And I had been in ad agency for multiple years, and I had run my own real estate investment business for multiple years. And that's where it kind of impact over attention came from, right? Was that I got tired of chasing attention for other people so that they can make money. And, I'm a Christian. And so that informs my value set and how I see the world. And, loving and serving others is number one for me. And so that means that I have to do things that are impactful in other people's lives, not just create these attention circles. That's really just a skill set more than anything else. Whereas impact can come from your heart and can transform things. And so I just had kind of one of those, sets and groups of moments where I said, it's time to kind of do a hard reset and really understand how I want to, leave a lasting impression, if you will. So that's
absolutely. Hey, I want to see a couple of people in the community here giving us a shout out. Andrew, thank you so much. Buenos, good morning. So he's here. Gabriel's in the house.
Hey, what's up?
MD is here. He says, how are you guys? I think I'm good. I'll have to check. So
great.
Better check. Paolo, good morning from soon to be locked Italy, but far from being stopped. Stay connected, stay safe. Gabriel says, hello, gentlemen. Awesome day for me. Two of my favorite people together. Thank you so much. John Hill. That sounds like a really cool idea.
That's my podcast partner in the morning.
Well, good morning, John. We'll have to bring you on too. Andrew, having daily check-in colleagues is a powerful way to stay on track, like a workout buddy bringing accountability. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Marissa, good morning from San Diego. She says, you're up early.
Mhm.
So it's like now that the time change in Arizona is mountain time.
That's right.
So Jake Jordan, Gabriel says Jake Jordan is an amazing and inspiring person. Well, I have to agree with you there, Gabriel. Marissa, good call. Early morning, early on the West Coast. Gabriel says, I want to learn more about Jake's accountability group. So let's talk about your accountability group.
Okay. Yeah. So I started an accountability group for founders and executives of cause-driven organizations because what we have, it's kind of like if you know, GroupMe or WhatsApp or, any of those. Discord is another one of those. And I run a group in there. And we just have daily check-ins as well, and weekly calls where we discuss how things are going together. It is what it sounds like. It's a group of people that are trying to do successful things in their life, and I'm just trying to gather up people that are like-minded so that we can continue to hit goals, but also create that synergy of, hey, I have a problem here. Who do you know maybe that we could tap into, or can we help someone find something this week that they need to move that thing forward? So like I said, my big push for people is to get into and I kind of broke this down last week, actually, is I want people to have strong discipline in something. I want people to put it in a framework so they stop thinking about it. Just put it into a framework that works and work the system.
I love that idea.
And then get into a strong community that supports you. Because I believe that's the three-legged stool that takes people to impact and gets people to the places they need to go.
So recap those again. Those again.
Yeah. So be disciplined in something. There's a great quote I love. Who knows at this point who it's by, but discipline equals freedom.
Okay.
Get in discipline, number one. Number two, put it in a framework so you don't have to think about it. And number three, get in a supportive community. And that's what I'm trying to do, to create the community, put together framework for people so they don't have to, and be disciplined for them or with them or around them. So I'm trying to model it and equip people to do those things.
Get very focused on it, and then you don't have to worry about, am I doing it or am I not doing it, because it's crystal clear.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Would that differ from a mastermind group or, a small group? Is this able to scale, or is it accountability group that is open and available for anyone that wants to have some accountability in their world?
Yeah. So it's a pay what you want group. So if you want to pay $1, pay $1. If you want to pay me $1,000, I'm open to that too. Okay. But it's open to anyone. And there's a set of 30 days of emails that you get just by joining that helps you with some structure. And then after that, it's just a mastermind. We just get together and you can check in daily. You can check in weekly. It's really open to you to use to your extent. I just show up and do the thing, and hopefully people continue to do stuff.
I like that. I show up and do the thing. I have thrived in masterminds over the years, and I just really enjoy the accountability and also the honest feedback. Because it's a safe place to be able to ask questions without feeling as it's a judgment or a political forum or any kind of a platform that people are going to attack you on. And it's just really everybody's there working together to lift each other up. Yeah. And that's what's really makes a difference. It makes a difference.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love masterminds. And I don't think I'd consider this a mastermind group. There is a masterminding aspect to it. This is just a straight accountability group. And I think the difference for those that don't really know would be that a mastermind group's sole purpose is to get together and solve problems together. It's to really support and help and There are other types of groups and hybrids, but I also attribute a lot of my real estate success that I had to mastermind groups as well, because it's man, you get people doing different things at the same time. You can speed up your learning process so quickly.
Oh yeah, that question you could search YouTube for forever.
Yeah.
It's like you could phone a friend.
Yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
like, hey, what's your experience in this? And they'll tell, and you get an answer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good stuff. And for anyone that has not joined a mastermind or been in an accountability group or any kind of a collection of individuals moving in the same direction, it's an incredibly powerful experience. And I encourage, and I just can't say enough good about the process.
Yep,
So
definitely.
So what are some of the things that you see people, 2020 has been an incredibly interesting year, challenging for some. And so what do you see coming up to the top for people's concerns and where people are moving their interest and energy? I mean, do you see something there that is going to be, you're seeing more of over the course of this year and as we go through this COVID thing?
Yeah, I think like a lot of other people, I've seen two outcomes. I've seen people freak out and kind of spin a little bit and cause themselves more problems just by freaking out and burying their head in the sand. And there's a fair amount of that going on. But I also do think this has, in more people than typically would have happened, has opened up a part in their, I don't know what you call it, their minds, their souls, their own being, to really discover how am I spending my time? I really think a lot of people have been reflective on how could this is a big thing. I've never seen something at this level shut so many things down and things like that. I love Ryan Holiday, his books, Obstacle in the Way, right, is the one I first read of his that really kind of changed some of my thought processes, that the way that's blocked, it doesn't mean it's no longer the way. It just means it's blocked. So you either find a way over, around, through, and so I think it's just kind of brought some of that up for people to go and kind of back to the beginning of the episode, what we were talking about is what am I really about? What do I really want to work on every day?
Yeah. Well, what it does is it forces creativity in a way that you'd not had to discover previously. And his studies on Stoicism and thinking in those terms are really, I think, enlightening for a lot of people that are trying to overthink and think too much and not really. It goes back to what's your why? It's like, okay, why am I doing what I'm doing? And then because of the roadblocks we're receiving today, in a lot of cases, it's like, well, is that something I have to do? It's like, maybe not. Maybe not.
Yeah.
So have there been things that you've dropped off your agenda and your to-do list as far as life goes in this current situation?
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I one of my my flaws, I guess I say, your strengths can be a weakness too, right? Is I've dropped quite a few projects that I had planned for 2020, but I feel like it was for the right reasons, not because it was early on too. I had planned to write a book in 2020. I had plans to actually go on a bit of a speaking tour, which obviously got shut down. But I don't have plans to resurrect that. I had a couple of other entrepreneurial ideas that I shut down that were just ideas to spin up another business. So I am solely focused on impact cause-driven organizations and helping them grow this upcoming year. And I'm just looking for the right ways to do that would be most effective. So I've dropped a lot.
Yeah. It's some big goals continue to be good big goals, and it's really about being accountable. And Mark LaCour, I want to point this question out because I want to talk about this a little deeper. Hey, Mark, how you doing? Question: how much accountability is too much?
That's a good question. I love that.
That is a good question.
Yeah. So I like to say that accountability only works when it's invited. So you never, most people don't like accountability, the word. They actually kind of cringe at it. It gives a little friction in their brains if they've never been a part of like an accountability group.
Yeah.
Because most of the accountability that we've been given in our life in the formative years was by parents and teachers and coaches, and they were telling us to do things we didn't want to do. And so,
Because
like,
they're related to authority.
yes, because it's related to authority. So you
Because
have
I
this like
told you
connection
so.
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So accountability feels bad, but if you have something you want to accomplish and you feel like it's valuable, other people are the best way to get there. Because once again, that's from the outside of the glass. They can see things that you can't see. It's not possible. And you have to have those people around. So I don't think there's too much accountability. I don't think there's such a thing. I think everyone has different levels of accountability they tolerate. But like for right now, I have my morning show with John. I have my Discord group. I have, social media schedules. I have calendars I stick to. I have alarms on my phone. I've got accountability all over my life, but it doesn't feel like too much because it's invited. I want it.
Well,
So
and I think that's the
what do you
difference
think?
between internalizing accountability and saying, I want to grow and I want to be accountable to something bigger than myself versus I have to do this or else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a different path in each situation. I think it really has to do with what you internalize and how you see growth taking place. And I think outside accountability, that new perspective, like your group is providing others,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people, they don't give themselves permission to actually think that they can think big enough.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, how many
Right.
people have you seen that they're amazing talented and crazy talented in some areas of their life they don't even recognize?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And sometimes it takes a new perspective or someone else pointing it out and saying, hey, Jake, you are an incredible human being and you're really talented and you can help more people in your life by doing X, Y, and Z with your skills.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't see that. So
Yeah, I think, and Kenyatta said it in the comments that accountability is ownership, and I strongly believe that. It's so maybe another answer to that question might be is how much ownership do you want to take of the things in your life? Because sometimes that's hard. When you take ownership of things, you have to take things on the chin. Like it's not easy. So that might be a sideways way into the answer as well.
yeah, no kidding. How much ownership do you want? and I think for myself, I think I kind of amplify what you said about dropping projects. There's the more I drop and the more focus I place on what I'm doing, it seems to be clearer. It seems to be easier. It seems to flow much smoother,
Mm-hmm.
and things start happening when you focus on a single goal versus multiple goals. Chase two rabbits, catch none kind of idea. It's like
Yeah.
thinking about that a lot. It's like, okay, yeah,
I
I
think
still
Tony
have some
Robbins said,
projects that I have to remove, but I'm still
yeah,
on.
I think Tony Robbins said something like, "You can't have everything, but you can have anything." So, and it's the same idea. When you narrow your focus, you can pretty much get most anything you want in life if that's your sole focus.
Yeah,
it just may take some time, and you may have to do a bunch of things wrong first.
Well, I always say that life is an instrument. You just have to keep practicing because it's just like any instrument. It doesn't really sound great until you practice it a little bit. So that's that like 15 years of overnight success. We were talking about.
Yep.
So it's one of those things. I want to give a shout out to a few more people. Michelle says, good morning. Love Jake's attitude and honesty. I've learned a lot from him in a short time I've known him. Thank you so much. And yes, absolutely. Kenyatta says Gabriel, absolutely. Pirates Unite. And then I was just going to grab. There's one thing I saw going through the feed. Gabriel is saying, Kenyatta, yes, totally. Ownership is important. I've struggled at times in life being accountable for my own life and actions. It was only when I started to hold myself accountable did I see changes in my life. So I know there are times in my life where it was like the only thing I was looking at was the thing in front of me at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes that has led me down some very challenging paths, and you know, depression, um, you know, dark times.
Mm-hmm.
And so, how does that play into it? I know a lot of people, you know, the suicide rate is up. Things are mental illness is increasing. How do you see that changing or evolving out as it relates to accountability and it relates to community? Because I
Yeah.
know you've done a lot of good things in the community, and I want to help more people get out of the mindset that doom and gloom and look at the bright side of things. And so, how does that fit into your world?
Yeah, so I have depression directly in my family. I haven't suffered specifically from what maybe the disease itself. I've been
Mhm.
depressed. I understand to degrees, but once you've known someone who's depressed personally daily, it's really interesting to see how that toll has on people. And I believe that community has made a comeback in the U.S. in particular because we have become such an isolated society. Um,
Mhm.
Home of the free is fantastic, but free from other people to do whatever we want, whenever we want, is not freedom. It's chaos. And
Yeah.
so I believe that we are turning a corner as a nation. How about today, as a way, timing wise? I think we're turning a corner as a nation to as a whole. Forget the media and the established
Right.
communities, if you will. Um, we're turning a corner and realizing that isolation is not a good thing, and I shouldn't be completely separate from my neighbor, and I shouldn't not know the people on my street, and like things like that, because we realize that there's so much more we can do together, and we may not agree on what those things are, but like the togetherness part seems to be coming back a little bit. And so I think when you talk to large groups or when you talk out on social media where anyone can say anything, you don't see that. But when you get into smaller groups and bring up
Mhm.
discussions like this, no one disagrees. Everyone's like, yes, why can't we just get along and figure things out together? And so communities, it's one of my trail legs, right? It's
Yeah.
community, super important. And the way that addresses, I think, mental illness and depression, I don't know mental illness so much, but depression for sure is, I believe that most people who go through depression, I don't know about the disease itself, so I won't speak to that, but that go through depression are because they're seen. They don't feel like someone is there listening, and they don't even have to agree. They just don't feel seen, and so
Yeah.
they dive down in a pit because they feel like they're alone, and their pain is their own, and the discouragement is their own. And even if they know other people go through they don't feel that. It's more like an idea versus a felt. And
Yeah.
so anytime that I've had to pull myself out of depression or had to have, I didn't do it myself. So other people pulled me up out of it. And if I
Yeah.
hadn't had those communities, things could have gone much worse.
I I totally agree with you. I mean, if you listen to the mainstream media, we're all going to die tomorrow. If you
Yep.
listen to some of the chaos on social media, it's not so bad. It's still pretty terrible. However, in the pirate community and some of the smaller groups I'm in, I mean, people are coming together. They're, you know, it's bringing more awareness of the idea of community.
Hmm.
And I have friends all over the world as a result of reaching out and having an outreach and conversations and 10 tips, you know, 10 days and 10 tips. You know, things like that that bring people together are really it's really a powerful tool to find a cause, find a hero, and bring people together. So I applaud your efforts, Jake. I love what you're doing, and I encourage you and support you in everything that you're doing. And I just wanted to highlight and bring you to the pirate community and share a few more people with you.
Awesome.
And it's amazing what we can accomplish when we just say, hey, let's do something.
Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with fulfillment, just having something to go towards and to do it with a group of people that you care about. You can't ask for a much better life than that.
Yeah, absolutely. So how is the best way people get a hold of you, and how do you like people to reach out to you?
So I'm a LinkedIn guy, as you've already alluded to. So come, follow me or connect with me on LinkedIn. And then my website is impactoverattention.com.
Okay.
And if you wanted to check out my, my day job, who I love, fantastic guys, I love them so much, is Quirk, like quirky, Quirk, quirkgrowth.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for taking time, Jake. I really appreciate it. We haven't really had an opportunity to have that much conversation over time, and just in LinkedIn, and so it was really a pleasure to hang out and learn more about you. So
thanks a bunch, Russ. I appreciate it, and I'm going to be spending more time in the pirate community now.
Don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger. And always, everyone, you know the drill. Kindness is cool. Smiles are free. So you enjoy the day. Don't go away, Jake. Take care.
All right.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate.